It's the Benz Brunani womanist. Baby boys, baby girls, you need to hear this. Sit down, receive this realness. Make sure your cup's ready for the tea. We are go sip it, yo. Hard time scrolling for your long shorts. You might learn something you never know. Collect you fine, and she's one of a kind. Don't say you're mine, say you're mine.
Jibbly, 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 jabbala, 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 jabbala. That. I'm working back on getting my songs. I just don't have songs yet. But I can tell you that I'm working on a longer version of the intro music and I'm going to be spitting bars. So just be ready for my flames. Like, get ready. Have a fire extinguisher ready for your ears because it's going to be flamey. Ha! Hello. Welcome to another episode of SYM, officially known as Say Your Mind, unofficially known as what? Yes. Suck your mum. Suck your mum. I am here. I can't even say I'm happy to be here. Well, I am because I'm alive, you know. But I'm here and so many interesting things have been happening this week. So I was filming with, who am I? I just remembered, like, obviously I'm Kelechi Okafor. Welcome to an hour, I guess, or so of my musings. So yeah, back into it. So I have been filming with the Grapevine TV. I was one of the panelists. And now, if you don't watch the Grapevine TV on YouTube, when I tell you, my homies, my G's, you need to get on that. If you know when you've got spare hours and then you go and wait, like, look, the Real Housewives of Atlanta and all of that bullshit isn't on at the moment, and I love all of that stuff. Like, I love me some trash TV. Go and watch the Grapevine TV because it's not trash TV. It's like a certain show that we have in this country where people sit in a kitchen and talk about asinine shit for ages. But it's much better because they talk about societal issues. So they've got the American version, which is the predominant version. And they've, Ashley Okuna, who's the host, came over and she made a London version. And I was on the panel and it was really, really interesting to talk about so many subjects, so many different subjects. And I can't wait for you all to see it. It was absolutely incredible. It was a really, really fun experience. So I love that. I loved being there. Now, the thing also that happened while I was there, which was interesting, was, remember when I said that one guy just decided to abuse me for no reason on Twitter? I wrote a tweet, why do people block me? And he was like, because you're obnoxious and people pitied you, so they gave you a blank check to just say whatever you like online and rare, just keep quiet and focus on your twerk studio. And I thought, my guy, who upset you? Did I fuck your mum or did I fuck your dad? Like, what? How did we get here? That is very. There was just a lot happening. So it annoyed me because if you've been listening so far, you know that I spoke about this in a previous episode. But I was so enraged because I just thought, this is how you man think that you could just take shots at people and it's perfectly okay when it's not. But anyway, he happened to be at the filming as well, and obviously. You guys that listen to the show see the Kelechi that I'm working at being. You don't see the Kelechi that I am in the depths of my soul. You can wake me up in the middle of the night. I am ready to fight. We are going to fight. So as soon as I saw him, I was just like, yep, well, I didn't plan on fighting today, but look what God has asked of me. Looks like it's time to get down. But, you know, friends said to me, you know what, calm it. Don't get stressed out. It wasn't even from a place of like anger. I was just like upset, like, wow. Right, we're in the same place. Like, we're actually in the same place. Did you ever think when you were writing that crud tweet to me that you were going to see me in person? Because now I need to show you that if anything, I am a consistent motherfucker. Like, I say that all of the time. Like, the energy, the vim that I give you online, that I give you in a podcast is the same energy, if not more, that I give you in real life, because nobody can chat to me. Like, as far as I'm concerned, no human being can chat to me. the most that a human being can do is kill you. Once you get used to that fact that the most that a human being can do is kill you, you just get on and you go about your business and you are ready for anything. And that's my mindset about the whole thing. People are probably listening like, bitch, what? Of course, like, killing is a major thing. And it is, but that is the end product. Yeah. So if that's the end product, then I'm going to move as I want to move. If I want to move mad, I'll move mad. Nobody can tell me anything. So in that situation, I was just like, woo, I am ready. But I calmed myself, did the filming on the first day. On the second day, he actually approached me and he apologized. He explained that, he now understands that, what he said was wrong. And I was put in a very difficult position because I felt like I needed to forgive what he had done. And it bothered me. Like, we even hugged because that's the kind of person I am. Like, actually, when we were speaking, I was just like, he's the same age as my younger brother. Like, I, as a big woman, cannot be really beefing you like that because you're working. People, like, I'm always saying this, like, people treat you the way they treat you because of who they are, not because of who you are. So in that situation, I just thought, you know what? I appreciate that you've come forward and we've spoken about this. Cool, let's hug. Because would you believe it? We had so many similar views when we were actually doing the panel discussion. And that was what fucked me up the most. The fact that these guys say things, people generally say things to me, at me, online, yet they don't necessarily disagree with the things that I say. Like, me personally, they don't disagree with my general views. They just somehow just decide that they don't like me when they don't know me. It's very, very wild. It's a very wild state of affairs. Anyway, he apologized and I felt like I needed to accept. And this week, most especially, I'd just been dealing with a lot of sadness, like an overwhelming, feeling of sadness with everything that has happened. And I went to a hammam spa booked by my partner on Monday last week. And it was really, really good. It's in Camberwell. It's called Pasha Spa. It's in like the back of a hotel. Like, don't expect it to look cute. It doesn't look like cute, but they get the job done, and it was really, really relaxing. I had a guy called Ismail, and it's men that do the hammam, by the way. So if you don't want to interact with men, then like probably don't go. But they were so professional. The guy that I had, Ismail, was wonderful, just really, really lovely. It made me laugh because when he was massaging me, he was just like, "Oh, you do sport." I was just like, "Oh, what gave it away?" It wasn't my muscles. But yeah, he was very nice. So I had that massage. But what that massage does, and I feel that this is, I definitely believe in the fact that sadness and emotions generally find crevices within your sinews, within your muscles to reside. They find a home there. And when that massage was happening, I felt that there was some sort of like, I don't know, myofascial release of this sadness or some of this sadness, and that brought it up to the surface. Apart from that, I've also been sleeping with black obsidian, a crystal, under my pillow, and that always brings negative emotions up to the surface for you to acknowledge. That's one of the properties of the crystal. So I've been having like really, really vivid dreams and all of this stuff. So it was a lot. It was a lot. And so when I got to therapy on Thursday, big up my therapist, by the way. I've only had like 2 sessions with her so far, but she's got all of the makings, all of the signs of a therapist that I'll get along with. Like the therapists that I've had in the past, 2 black women have been fucking incredible. Now, people always think that you should go to therapy because there's something wrong. You should just go therapy because you should. Like, it just enhances your life as a whole. But anyway, I'm going because I'm working as effectively as I can through this grieving process. And I was talking to her about the idea of forgiveness. And I mentioned this guy that said this shit about me online and feeling like I needed to forgive. And she said something like so controversial to me. She was just like, "Why do you need to forgive?" And I was like, because I do, because I want to be this person. I want to be like Oprah. She was like, "So what, you think Oprah forgives everybody?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know." She's like, "Exactly." I was like, "Oh, but we're brought up in a society where forgiveness is weaponized against women, most especially black women, like, oh, forgive, forgive, forgive." And she was like, "Yes, but you don't have to. You don't want to forgive. Don't forgive. Don't forgive. I'm saying to you, don't forgive right now, because you're clearly feeling a lot of anger about a number of things in the ways that people close to you and not close to you have violated your boundaries. You are allowed to feel all of those things. Feel as angry as you need to for as long as you need to. Feel it. I was like, oh, but anger keeps you in the past. And she was like, no. Rushing to forgive actually is what's going to keep you in the past, because you're repressing the feelings and they're going to, like, you're suppressing the feelings and they're going to have to come out at some point. And you know what you're then going to have to do? You're going to have to go back to the past to work through it and then come forward. So don't get fucked up. Well, she didn't say don't get fucked up, but she was basically saying, like, don't get fucked up by all of these things that people tell you, like, oh, forgiveness frees you, and yeah, all of that stuff. But get to that forgiveness stage when you get to it. Don't rush yourself feeling that you need to do it now. Feel all of your feelings. And I was just like, wow, feel all of my feelings. That's a lot. And so I was saying to her that I'm an intellectual motherfucker. Like, I can intellectualize something for you and you will fully believe that I felt that shit, when actually I operate on a very cerebral plane, where I know the theory about a lot of things, about a lot of emotions, about a lot of trauma, but I haven't actually allowed myself the space and the time to feel all of it, to sit with it, because that's the most uncomfortable thing ever. And she was just like, try showing compassion to yourself, because if you showed compassion to yourself, you wouldn't have to rush yourself through things that you're not ready for yet. And I was like, compassion to myself? Ha! Phooey. But no, I'm so good at being able to show compassion for other people's plight and empathizing with other people, because as she said, it's much easier to show compassion. It's much easier to give people what you wish people would give you, instead of giving yourself that thing, because you're still waiting for other people to give it to you, when it's a very backwards way of operating. So case in point, she read my life for filth, and I stand for a great therapist. I stand for a therapist that will challenge me and call me out on my bullshit and ask me, implore me, encourage me to do my healing and not play at my healing. So that's been the zhuzh this week. That's been what I've been up to, basically. And you know, once you told me to think about the anger, I realized that I'm angry about a lot of things. I'm angry about friends who know, for instance, about the miscarriage, for instance, and they don't go, how are you, before they start demanding things of me. Come and do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. Like, let's get this project going, or come and be on this, and come and, like, maybe I don't want to do anything, which is actually the real reality of a lot of things. I don't want to do a lot of things. Like, it's a big effort for me to even come here today to record. It's a big effort for me to get up and go to the gym, but I've been doing all of it because I know that it's a process, and I just need to keep showing up for myself and doing the things that I believe will help me grow and build the kind of, the kind of foundation that I want for my own success. So that's why I keep showing up. But when you haven't checked how I am, you want to tell me about all of the things happening in your life, you don't know how I am, and you're demanding things of me. Fuck you. With all due respect, fuck you. So that's been happening a lot, and I haven't liked it, but whatevs. And also I got invited to Solo, the Star Wars film that has Donald Glover in it, on Wednesday. It was really, really cool. I wasn't sure if I was going to go because I had other plans, but it was really, really cool. It was great to see faces. And big up Vamp UK, Black-owned company that actually works at getting, influencers, as they call it, Black people, press and whatever, getting them into these spaces. So we're also at these exclusive screenings. I appreciate it. Well done, ladies. Like, you're doing big things. Big up yourselves. It was really, really nice to be invited. So that's that. Moving on then to the tarot for this week. So also saying about the tarot, I really appreciate all of you who are courageous enough to say, you know what, I wasn't really rocking with the tarot at the beginning because, my upbringing makes me feel like it's not something I should really be indulging in and all of that stuff. But you said some things that have really hit home. I appreciate you speaking that truth. It means a lot to me. So it just encourages me to continue, because even if you didn't like it, I'm still going to continue because it's my truth and I'm living it and it's my motherfucking podcast. But no, I really appreciate that it resonates with so many of you. So thank you for that. So the tarot for this week, the card I pulled from the Black Angels card deck, it was the Seer. The Seer. So the Seer, we see a body with just one eye. I think it's the eye of Horus, you know, the Egyptian eye thing. We see that, and the sun, but the sun doesn't have all of its spokes, which I think is rather interesting. So yeah, the seer, the person who sees. So the description for the seer is, where is it? It says here, you trust your divine wisdom. On your waking path, you're intuitive, psychic. On your sleeping path, you're obstructive, or you're obstructed and you're blind. As a seer, you are all-knowing. Wisdom comes easily to you. On the waking path, you have a gift to see clearly the past, the present, and the future, and beyond our physical world. The wisdom you receive is a spiritual connection to ancestors and spirit beings. You act as a bridge between the seen and the unseen worlds. Your abilities may have come with you at birth or developed over time. You can find yourself with blessings to share or unwanted and unsettling information. You feel obligated to inform people what you are seeing, but you are reluctant to tell all. Although your gift has been misunderstood, you remain sensitive to its presence. On the waking path, you fully trust and use your intuition. When you receive messages seemingly out of nowhere, you trust them and you use them for your life. In this way of seeing, you tend to follow the path of your soul. On the sleeping path, you might find yourself hiding your sixth sense or ability to divine life. You may fear being judged as strange. This insecure feeling can lead to closing down your capacity for insight, which many have yet to fully develop. Closing down such sensitivity cuts away a huge part of who you are. You may begin to distrust your perception of what's going on around you. You can no longer access the divine wisdom you need to live for your life. Denying your special gift is to become blind to it. Being a seer is an ancient indigenous way of moving through the world. In the modern world, it is very difficult to trust that we cannot connect. It's very difficult to trust that we can connect to realms beyond this world. And yet, such seeing is a way of understanding and creating our lives. It's a way of walking in constant awareness needed for navigating our daily lives. Continue to divine your life. Reclaim your true spirit of seeing, knowing, and truth. This is where pure intelligence resides. It is a genuine intelligence that cannot be measured, and there are no diplomas to signal your achievements at bringing forth wisdom. If you do not trust or use your intuitive sense, which we all have, you have turned your back on the gift given to you at birth. Your gift of sight can be instrumental in keeping you on your path of life. The ridicule and misunderstanding that may come your way is based on the fear of the unknown. Know that the world will catch up with you one day, and again, acknowledge and honor seers for what they contribute to humanity. When they catch up, let us hope you also will have begun to treasure your gift. I think that's really, really important. I hear too often people that I know, men, women, a lot of men as well, not realizing that they have a gift to be able to see things before they happen. You know, they tone it down, or they push it away from when they're young because it's just like, oh, this is weird. I don't feel normal. That's not cool. And they don't want to acknowledge the fact that they've got a supreme gift that will serve them so well in their life if they cultivate it. People talk often of like, oh, rare died and I saw it in my dream before that person died. Or like, I knew this person was ill before they knew that they were ill. Or I knew this person was expecting a baby before they knew that they were expecting a baby. Like it's a natural thing that you have. Like you have a connection to things that we should all have a connection to, but it's not as strong as yours. And yet you're not using it because you feel like it will make you a weirdo, or people will see you as like mentally ill, and all of these things where you shouldn't run from the gift that you have. Like within reason, I bring up mental illness, but I don't want to conflate it with actual, legitimate mental illnesses and things like that. But what I'm saying is that like, oftentimes, if you exhibit these gifts at a young age, older people will say to you, "Oh my God, don't talk nonsense," and they'll force you to not use it because they're scared of it. They're scared of the unknown. They're scared of what it would mean. And especially when a lot of us have been brought up in Abrahamic religions where All other forms of spirituality are eschewed and they're demonized, they're vilified. We feel like, oh, I couldn't possibly go with it because, you know, it's not godly or whatever, when actually you're just divine. You're denying your true divinity. I believe that we're all created in the image of the most divine. And for that reason, we all carry divinity within us. And that's why people say namaste, because the God in me honors the God in you. We are all divine beings. We're not just here to talk about body count and die. You know, we're here for on our own journeys that matter. So for that reason, you should cultivate the gifts that you know that you have, especially a gift such as seeing. That shit's important. So the Rider-Waite card that came out with it, that I pulled today, were the first one was the 8 of Cups. The 8 of Cups, I swear down, this card keeps haunting me. I know why it is as well. For me personally, the 8 of Cups speaks about disappointment and walking away from disappointment. And so the most obvious thing for me when it's talking about disappointment is the miscarriage. That's what the card signifies to me. Like there was something that you were looking forward to and then you'd been planning and then it just didn't go the way that you hoped it would. It's time to sit with that disappointment, but also move on to other lands, other hopes and aspirations. This one didn't work out. Just keep hoping. Hope actually is my favorite painting of all time. It's at the Tate Britain. I don't know if it's been taken down. It's a painting by G.H. Watts, and she's sitting on the globe. She's sitting on the, a depiction of the world, and it just looks so dank. Like the blues in this picture of the 8 of Cups. The world looks so dank and horrible, and she's got a lyre. I think it's a lyre in her hand, like those kind of mini harps. She's got that in her hand and it's only got one string, and she's also blindfolded, and she's sitting on top of this desolate world, and she's the protagonist in the image. She's leaning her ear towards the only string that's on that harp to try and make the most beautiful music that she can. And I remember seeing that picture, that painting when I was in primary school, and it became my favorite painting ever. It's been like the screensaver and the backdrop on my social media pages and the screensaver on my phone for many, many years, because that has always been the image that gave me hope all throughout a tempestuous and tumultuous childhood. That idea that no matter how bad things get in life, I will always try to make the most beautiful music I can with what I have. And this is what the 8 of Cups really kind of reminds me of, the audacity of hope to just keep going. Not in the keep going that people kind of enforce upon you, where they're like, oh, you've got to be strong, just forget about this and move on. No, it's holding on to that disappointment, recognizing that disappointment and saying, you know what, I can create something from this, and I'm just going to find hope wherever I find it. So the 8 of Cups is really saying that for this card in particular with the seer, I feel like it's saying, like, you've got to walk away from constructed ideals or ideologies about yourself based on the disappointments that you faced in the past of people not acknowledging this gift that you have, or you rejecting yourself. Like, every motherfucker in this life can reject you, but the greatest rejection that will really fuck you up is you rejecting yourself. And I know that firsthand. And it's important to not reject yourself. Something hasn't worked. Okay, fine, it hasn't worked, but you move on to the next thing. But for you especially, people haven't seen you and acknowledged you the way that they should. You haven't seen, acknowledged yourself. It's time that you start. Otherwise, you won't really be able to use your gift, because the next card that comes with that is the Sun. The Sun is one of my favorite cards because it's got a baby in it, riding on a white horse, and there's red, and there's the same red that we see in the 8 of Cups, and both of them have illumination. We see the moon in one, and then we see the sun in the other. And what does this say? That sorrow endureth for a night, but joy comes in the morning. I believe that this is what these two cards literally signify, that you can have disappointments, but there will be joy and there will be other opportunities that come after eventually. So you have to remain hopeful and childlike for those things to come. And especially when we're talking about the card, the seer card, you have to find that childlike innocence. You have to find that childlike innocence and wonder to look at the world in a new way, because we've gotten so used to seeing the world from this drab perspective, because the world does feel like bullshit at times. So much shit's happening around the place. But for you that can see between this world and the other worlds, if you don't maintain a childlike innocence in your soul, you won't ever really be able to use your gift. You'll always be in battle with it for the rest of your life. And that will just fucking suck. So just keep that in mind. It's basically what I'm saying today. Just keep it in mind. Moving on then to Share Your Magnificence. Magnificence this week goes out to Dilemma. Dilemma is a spoken word artist who had a screening on last week, Wednesday. I was meant to go and all of my plans just became higgy hagger. But I appreciate you, Dilemma, as a Black woman who's out there creating art unapologetically, creating beauty in this world and giving us all a chance to commune within this kind of environment of creativity. Like, keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to tell you what she's got coming up. So where is my thing? So annoying. Yeah, she's got a collective that she created, the Dilemma Collective, that she does a number of things from, like poetry, and she's a jazz singer as well, and she kind of mixes the two, and it's so sublime. I love seeing videos of her come up on the internet. Like, she's just wonderful. So yeah, check out Dilemma. Her is at DYLEMA _ at Dilemma. That's her thing on Twitter. And she's just wonderful. I really like her vibe. So I just wanted her to be my Share Your Magnificence, because I didn't get to go to the screening and that upset me. So big up yourself, Dilemma. I love everything that you're doing. Keep up the good work. And then my next shout out goes to Saudat. Saudat sent me a letter. Let me just get it up. So Saudat says, "Hi, Collecture. I hope you're well. My name is Sal. I listen to your podcast and follow your Twitter and your Insta, and I really appreciate you sharing your views and bits on your life and the rest with the rest of us. I hope I've contacted you on the right platform. I would have tweeted, but I'm taking a Twitter break. Too much time wastage. I just realized that I missed one of your podcast episodes, America, When Will You Marry? And you mentioned a book that you're reading and that you love to read. I was just wondering if you would consider sharing some more of the books that you read or have read on your podcast. I'm trying to get back into reading. I completely stopped reading the minute I started uni, and I haven't got back into it since. Why does this happen? Anyway, I'm writing a books to read list, and hopefully this will motivate me to make time for books. Hope you're having a blessed day, and I hope to hear from you soon, whether it's on here or via podcast. Again, thank you so much for making my Monday mornings so entertaining. Much, much love, baby girl." I'm surprised that I managed to make it with the whole accent the whole way through. Big up myself and big up Sal. Sal, big up yourself. 2 slaps on your chest. Dilemma, 2 slaps on your chest. Yeah. It's a wonderful thing that you say, Sal. I really should. I should promote books that I read more, because I'm always referencing them, even if I misquote them. I love misquoting a book. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's all of the information that's in my head. So let me recommend a book. I've got 2 books with me today for women who are trying to kind of figure themselves out, is the best way to put it. I don't want to talk about feminism, because people will just start like getting their pussies all in a twist and twisting up their clitoris because I don't see myself as a feminist. Okay. All right, sis. All right. You're not a feminist. It's cool. Calm down. So, To Be Real by Rebecca Walker. Rebecca Walker is Alice Walker's daughter. That is not where her excellence lies. Her excellence lies in the fact that she writes great things. And so To Be Real is an anthology of feminist writings from different women. And it's really great. It's one of the first books that I read when I was really trying to figure out where the fuck I fit in the whole feminist praxis. And there's a particular bit in it where a woman talks about, I don't want to say a woman because that's very fucking rude. Isa Davis, she talks about feminist hip-hop maintenance. And so people always ask me, like, what's a Benz Punani womanist? Actually, was reading this essay that helped me to cultivate what a Benz Punani womanist is, in that, like, I like music that I guess, not even guess, I know it's sexist. I know it's misogynistic. I know that it's homophobic. I know it's just so trash, the lyrics. Yet here I am still twerking and really quinting it up 2 times. Like, I'm trash. I'm aware. You know, I'm problematic. I'm aware. But that doesn't stop me for wanting equality and wanting the good for all genders. So it's something that I'm working through. And so she has a brilliant essay in To Be Real, where she speaks about how she kind of navigates loving hip hop with all its misogynist lyrics and being a feminist. There's also another essay in it. I can't remember who it's. Oh, I've just passed it. Brideland. I've passed it again. By Naomi Wolf, where she talks about the conflict of getting married and being a feminist. Like, she covers it in there as well. So that's Rebecca Walker, To Be Real. If you guys want to check it out, it's well worth buying. And because they're all mini essays, it's not like one long narrative. So you just read them as separate things. So it's perfect. But if we're talking about a book that changed my motherfucking life, if we're talking about a book that really upped my Viva, that really spiced up my life, no Spice Girl, then that means we're talking about Communion, The Female Search for Love by Bell Hooks. I'm just showing it to you on camera. Communion, The Female Search for Love. This is one of the most important books to me. Like, I know that people have said that Bell Hooks has been moving mad in recent years because of, like, her critique of Beyonce, her friendship with Emma Watson, and all of them things there. But me personally, like, Bell Hooks, with this book, and there's We Real Cool, about black men and masculinity. I recommend that to every black man, whether you live in America or you don't. I recommend that book to everybody. It's worth reading. But this book is everything to me. So in the extended version of the podcast, I'll go into many aspects of the book. Like, there's like my favorite bits, but this is one bit that I think that would resonate with a lot of people, because over like the weekend, in the past few days, I've been seeing people talking about, oh, you can't be pro-black and be in an interracial relationship. First of all, bitch, I don't really consider myself pro-black. I consider myself to be a black person that's telling other people not to fuck with me and not to fuck with my immediate and my global environment. That's how I see myself. But if you think that me being with a white person negates all of the work that I know that I've done in my community, then it's your mum that you need to suck. Like, you literally need to go and find a straw and suck your mother in her entirety, because nothing you say will negate the work that I know that I've been doing. You did not have horsemen you're sent to your studio or to your place of work because of the things that you're doing. I had that sent to me because of my beliefs and the fact that I speak out on it. Everyone's so quick to be like pro-black because you're with a black person. So what if the black person is conking your head every day? Oh my God, you're still pro-black because you're with a black person. All of it's mad. Like, I feel like the same way with feminism. Like, heterosexual women are the weakest links in feminism because they don't, I guess, examine enough the ways that they still support patriarchy or white supremacist patriarchy, or just patriarchy. They don't consider how they support toxic patriarchy within their intimate relationships. So I might then just be the weakest link when it comes to all of this pro-black stuff. But if I don't consider myself pro-black, that's you guys' business. Same way when people talk about me online and articles and stuff, and they're like, anti-racist campaigner Kelechi Okafor. I'm not an anti-racist campaigner. I'm just a baby girl. I'm not pro-black. I'm just a baby girl. This is why I coined this particular reference term for myself. I know many people use baby girl, but when I'm talking about myself, as an individual, I call myself a Benz Punani womanist, and I call myself a baby girl, because those are the things that I am, and I can dictate what the terms of being those things are. All the other things, you man can keep it. I don't need it, because you're obviously wild and you're always looking for ways to create these kind of elitist narratives because you want something to control. The fact of the matter is, I'm a whole ass human being who's had a whole ass entire life with different partners and different things. I'm at this stage in my life with this particular partner and I'm doing all of this work. And if you think that that means that I'm not part of one in crowd, one little club, one little sect because of that, then that's your motherfucking problem. And like I said, find the biggest straw that you can find. In fact, find a motherfucking massive tube. Find a tube and stick it inside your mum's vagina and suck her fucking dry. Yeah? That's how I see the whole thing with all due respect. Sorry, oops. With all due respect. Anyway, that's what I was going on with this because she talks about how difficult it must be for heterosexual feminists to navigate heterosexual relationships. So in chapter 14 of Communion, The Female Search for Love, Bell Hooks says, deep abiding friendships are the place where many women know lasting love. Women who are steadfastly heterosexual may live a lifetime without feeling true love between themselves and a heterosexual partner. The greatest tragedy of marriage within patriarchal culture is not that so many couples divorce, but that an even greater number of couples stay together without feeling that they love one another. Over and over again, as I talk with aging women who love about relationships, I hear us testify that the loneliness that may come with full self-love and self-actualization is far preferable to the loneliness of being in a relationship where love is not present. So that's one aspect of it that I think is really, really interesting. And then she says something else about man-hating, which I thought was very interesting. I can't find it now. I'll probably have to bring it up in the extended version. In Search for Men Who Love, let's see. Yeah, here we go. This is a juicy one. So this is chapter 11 in the book. It says, the search for men who love. Looking for love and looking for a man are two different agendas. Most women without male partners are looking for a man. And guess what? Men are easy to find. Finding a man is not the same as finding love. To find love with a male partner, women have to be clear that that is our desire. The feminist movement exposed the harsh truth of woman hating. More than at any time in the history of this nation, the word misogynist became commonplace. It was the shortcut way to describe a sexist, patriarchal, woman-hating man. But the other reality that feminism exposed, which was more uncomfortable for women to talk about, was female hatred of men. Years ago, in the heyday of the contemporary feminist movement, I remember lesbian women joking all the time about how wrong the world was in casting them in the role of man-haters, because everyone knew that if you gathered a bunch of women together in a room and started talking about men, the most vicious man-hating sentiments would be expressed by women who were with men and who were planning to stay with men for the rest of their lives. I was just like, wow. Then she says, hearing these comments again and again, knowing firsthand the truth in these words, I searched my soul to see what my honest feelings about men were. I determined that if I looked inside and saw that I really held men in contempt, I would cease considering them as potential partners and lovers. And that's really, really interesting. And it's very real for me. You know, how do you exist in a relationship with a man knowing all of the detrimental things that men as a construct in this society, or patriarchy as a construct in this society, how it affects women, knowing those things and finding that generally men are very capable of supporting equality, as it were, outside of the home in public, but inside the home, whether they still, especially when it comes to sex and things like that, whether they're still having that same understanding of equality and consent and all of these things, when you enter into that arena. And a lot of feminists speak about the fact that they don't feel like men do, and they're ashamed of almost speaking out about it, because obviously people are going to look at them sideways and be like, so sis, what are you doing about that? Like, how are you reconciling that? So it's a lot. So if you're talking about a book that does bits, this is my feminist Bible, really. Communion, The Female Search for Love, is my feminist Bible, because it was where I was first introduced to the idea of romantic friendships, how you should invest as much time in building the intimacy and the romance in your friendships, not just your like intimate, immediate, monogamous relationships with your partner, but on building strong, robust, loving relationships with your friends as well, and dedicating time to them as well, because those are the things that really make you a whole self-actualized human being. So those are my book suggestions. So thank you, Sal, for asking. I hope that helps. And I'll suggest some other books as we go along and as I read them. So I don't know if she wants me to say her name. Sent me a message as well. So she's also my Share Your Magnificence. She says, "Hi, Kelechi. Hope my email meets you well. I just wanted to take a moment to write you a few lines to really wish you a steady recovery and healing on a physical, spiritual, and emotional level. I hope you have all the support you need and know that I am here, as strange as that can sound coming from a stranger, if you ever need an extra pair of ears and heart to talk to. I can't even imagine what you're going through right now, but I'm glad to see that your partner and loved ones are there to support you. I also just wanted to celebrate you and thank you for the impact you had on my life. A little about myself. I am an Eritrean second-generation Italian national who has been living in London for the past 12 years. I'm currently on my third year of PhD, writing my thesis on my own Eritrean communities here in London and Milan. And I always feel very privileged about the opportunity of even pursuing a PhD as the child of immigrant parents. I'm blessed with supportive parents, family, and friends who have always encouraged me to push further and to do what I love, learning. Now, of course, all of this also entails a lot of sacrifices, but I stay motivated by the importance of the stories told through my research, the untold stories of migrants escaping war, poverty, and reaching countries that to various degrees treat them as second-class citizens. For the past couple of years, I had to work 2 part-time jobs to sustain myself whilst working on my PhD, one of them being teaching in my own university. It has been tough, I must admit, juggling all of this and also trying to make some time for loved ones, time for myself, and, attempt to have a social life. A couple of weeks ago, I was in the midst of moving house, starting a new part-time job whilst having undergrad essays to mark and a chapter to send to my supervisor. I'm not going to lie, at some point I cried quite a bit, thinking all of this was so hard. Like, why did it have to be so hard? I did not feel good about myself because I didn't feel like I was being as productive with my writing as I should have been. Then you came to mind and I thought to myself, how does she do it? How does Kelechi manage to always be on top of her game? But then I had to reflect and realize that obviously, even for you, doing all the things that you do took a lot of work, sacrifices, determination, strength, and focus. Basically, you work your ass off and you make it happen by any means necessary. And once I realized that, or more acknowledged it to myself, well, I felt less alone in this struggle. Thinking that more people like you and myself, and even some of the amazing individuals you talk about in your podcast, we are all walking in our purpose and do what needs to be done to make our own contribution to our communities and to the world. In that sense of collective and shared struggle, I felt motivated again to keep pushing and not to be so hard on myself. This is all I wanted to say. I see you, Kelechi, and you're an inspiration to many. Apologies for the essay, but I just wanted you to know how your drive and work ethic is being noticed and appreciated. Sending you lots of love and light, M. Thank you so much. Like, that made me emotional, but thank you for that. Honestly, M, thank you. And I pray that all of this eases up, because it's fucking hard. All of the things that you're doing, like, kudos to you for all of the things that you are juggling and you're managing to do. I really like that you cried. I really like that you cried a bit, because, for me, that's one of the hardest things when I'm so stressed out about everything. And for the life of me, I cannot create the time I need, the safe space I need in my room or whatever to just cry. Because crying, I find, is cathartic. It helps me to just get things out so I can refocus and get on with the things that I need to get on with. And when I don't get to cry, I feel like a lot of things just build up. And like, honestly, sis, like, yo, it's hard. Like, for me, this week even has been hard. And I think that all we can do is be honest about it. Instagram and all of these places like to serve you a reality that everything's perfect and everything's well manicured. Even the influencers that you're seeing that are putting up these dope images, I speak to a lot of them personally, and we're all out here struggling. None of us know what the fuck we're doing. We're just taking everything as it comes, each stage as it comes. And I think it was James Baldwin that says, you think that your heartache is the worst the worst thing to have ever been felt. Then you read and then you realize that, in the grand scheme of things, the other things that are happening in the world are like wild. That's not in any way to negate or to trivialize what we're going through, but it's the fact that more so to say that there are other people that feel the things that we feel. And like you said, it's a collective struggle. It's not easy out here, no matter how dope and how bossy anyone looks like they've got all of this shit on lock. We are all trying to figure this shit out. And some days, I promise you, I just want to give up. I don't want to go gym. I don't want to go to the studio. I'm not thankful. I don't give a shit. I don't want to do anything because I'm just so fucking exhausted and it just never seems to stop. And at the same time, I'm just like, when will I be great? When is like Ryan Coogler going to see me and be like, Kelechi, you need to be in Black Panther 2? When is Oprah going to see me and be like, rah, a baby girl, my girl, come true, my G? When is all of this going to happen? But then I have to remind myself that everything happens as it should. And as long as I am living and I'm living my life to my fullest purpose that I'm aware of, and always listening to the tugging of my heart and my soul wherever I need to go, and always enriching and nourishing and growing within my spirit person as I am, then, it is what it is. I'll get there eventually. So just sending you all of the love, sending you love, sending you love, Sal, sending you love, Dilemma, sending everyone out love. Like most of you listen to this on a Monday, and for a lot of people, Monday can be the hardest day, and you're having all of these thoughts whirling around your head like everything's so fucking hard. But just remember that you're still here, and as long as you are able to still draw a breath into those lungs of yours, you are a motherfucking G, and you will get through whatever the fuck it is that's happening. No motherfucker can hold you down. Nobody can hold you down. You've got this. You will rise, yeah? Like the best bread, like the best Jamaican patties, you will motherfucking rise, okay? Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. No, thank you very much. All right, moving on to So You Mad. So You Mad is nice and cute. Tim Westwood, fuck off. Fuck off, Tim Westwood. Fuck off. Why? So I'm going to Afro Republic tomorrow, which is Saturday. By the time you listen to this would obviously have happened at the weekend. So Afro Republic's happening. I'm really looking forward to it. Wizkid's going to be there. Tiwa Savage. Techno. I cannot wait to hear Techno live. Not Techno as in it's, but I mean like Techno the artist. Number one in Africa. Hey, Techno. Yeah. So I want to hear Techno. I want to hear Wizkid, obviously, and then Mr. Easy. Tiwa Savage is on very, very early. I don't know if I'm going to be there that early because I need to go and get my headshots done. Need new headshots since I've cut my hair. But I'm definitely going to arrive in time for Techno. So I'm looking forward to this event. I don't think I'll get there in time to see Malik Berry, even though I wanted to see him, but it is what it is. It is what it is. But there are so many Afrobeats DJs. There are so many Afrobeats DJs, really, really fantastic ones of, may I stress, Black, Afro-Caribbean or African or Caribbean heritage. They are around. Why is it that we're getting this crusty ass white man, this crusty ass pensioner that needs to go and sit the fuck down? Why is Tim Westwood the one that's been chosen as the event DJ? Why? I feel like he fetishizes Black culture so much. He speaks in that Black accent that I don't fucking understand. He's still wearing baggy trousers when every man has moved on from this. Like, my guy's still wearing boot cuts. Wagwan. Like, overdoing it. Every roll safe analogy that you can think of, this is what this guy is. He's a walking roll safe documentary. That's what he is. Like, why is he still here? Like, my second boyfriend, his mum went to school with Tim Westwood. Like, she showed me their school photo and Tim Westwood was there. And she's a big, big woman. Like, she's a big, big woman. And Tim Westwood is still out in these streets doing all these uni tours, trying to pick up 18-year-old girls. I don't understand. Like, Agbaya, it is enough. Otito, go and sit down. Lo soon, lo joko, everything. Are you not tired? Your age mates are playing golf in Lisbon or playing golf, in Vegas. You want to chuck your head and remain in this culture that is fast leaving you behind. And, you know, the people who are organizing this Afro Republic event, why didn't you guys go, you know what, we think it might actually be inappropriate to have Tim Westwood. You know what, I would even take, I don't know, DJ Neptizzle, because he was the one to like get enraged and speak out about it first. I'll take him. He's not, from what I know, African, of African or Caribbean heritage, but he knows his Afro beats back to front, inside out. So if you're really saying you don't want someone of the diaspora, of the African diaspora, at least take him. No, we went all the way to Tim Westwood. Why? Does he not have, like, I don't know, appointments to be going to? Does he not have prostate examinations that he needs to be going to? Like, why? Why him? Who is he? Where did you find him? God. It's just really aggravating that you can have an event that's focused on blackness and Africanness and you'll still find a way to involve white people, specifically white men. But you know what? It wouldn't be Africa if we didn't have a white man colonizing. So it is what it is, but I prefer if it wasn't that way, is all I'm saying. Talking about concerts and talking about white people doing things that they shouldn't be doing, let's move swiftly on to Kendrick Lamar. Wow, that segue was bad. Oprah, holler at me. See, seamless. Anyway, Kendrick Lamar had a concert, and obviously being a hip hop artist, he says nigga a lot. Fine, okay, cool. He invited a white girl on stage. White girl, just plain looking ting, Midwest. I said Midwest. I think it's like the Midwest region that he was in, but I could be wrong. Anyway, he invites this white girl on stage to sing along to Mad City. So if you haven't listened to the album, you should listen to the album. But Mad City is one of my favorite songs on the album, entitled the same thing. So he basically says, "Man down, where you from, my nigga?" Like, that's the beginning of the chorus or whatever. So he invites this white girl on stage. She jumps on stage and she starts reciting the lyrics. Of course, you know that my girl did not mute out the N-word. She did not mute it out. She shouted this. She shouted all of those niggas with her entire esophagus. Her entire trachea, she used to shout like that nigga. Like she really... all of the rest of the song, she was kind of going. But when it got to that bit, she was like, "Where you from, my nigga?" Like she really put all of her faith, if she's ever had any seasoning in her life, she summoned all of that seasoning and did like a Hadouken into that word nigga. It was actually very fascinating to watch. And it's the way that when she got on stage, she was really performing what I guess she thought blackness was. And she was like, "I got you, bruh. I got you, bruh. I got this." And I was thinking about, Sally Mae, do you speak? Sally Mae is like the name of their inland revenue. But, like, honestly, like, Jacintha, do you speak in front of your parents like that? Is that, you don't? You don't, but you're now doing it because you're in front of Kendrick. So anyway, she's shouting nigga in the song. Kendrick's like, whoa, stop the music. They stopped the music. And he was just like, "You forgot to switch up one word." This little bitch goes, oh my God, did I say it? I didn't even realize. Did I say it? Bitch, you know you said it. Like, that was your favorite bit. Like, that, honestly, I feel like a lot of white people, they listen to hip hop so they can say nigger. Like, that is what, if they're listening to a hip hop tune that doesn't have nigger in it, that they're disappointed. Like, that is the pièce de résistance. That's the bit that they're looking forward to. So she's like, "Oh my God, did I say it? Oh, I didn't realize. I must have forgot. You didn't forget. You said it with all of your chest. I saw you enjoy from the N to the A. I saw you enjoy all of it. All of the vowels, all of the consonants. You enjoyed every single bit. But you see, if you could put that kind of energy into, I don't know, shouting Black Lives Matter, I would really enjoy you being alive. But the thing is, you girls don't. You boys don't. All you want to do is consume the culture, but when it comes to supporting the lives, the very lives of the people who create the culture that you can hyper consume, not even just consume, that you hyper consume, you're silent. You're fine with us dying, but you still want your things. You still want your things to enjoy. So he said, yeah, you need to not say that word. And so she goes again, and they start the song again, and she does it again. But you should have seen how awkward it was for her. Like, you could, like she was trying so hard not to say the it was so much effort for her to not say that word. She wasn't enjoying it anymore. Case in point, she wasn't enjoying the word of the song anymore when she couldn't say all of the nigga. And people are, up in arms about this. People are like, oh, Kendrick, rare. Why did he do that? But for me, I feel like Kendrick did something very, very important. I even went as far as to believe that maybe it was like a performance art. Maybe that was an actress that he got on stage just to prove a point to his white audience that I don't want you saying this word, like this word is not for you. I'm very happy for you to listen to my music, buy my music, but just know that some things are not for you to say. And they'll be like, so like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm just not supposed to say the word. Like, so I'm just meant to like sing the song and just like go bleep, or like what? Do what you do when Black women are not paid equally as you are. Do what you do when a disproportionate number of Black people are killed in police custody. Stay silent. Because you do that so well for everything else that matters. Why don't you just do it for whenever you hear nigger in a song? Do that. That would be so useful, because if you're going to operate on this theme of silence, this carnival of silence, just execute that all the way round. Like, it would be really welcome. We would really, really appreciate it. It would be wonderful. So yeah, I feel like that's what Kendrick did. I think that what Kendrick did was rather subversive. Some would say no, rather it wasn't subversive. It was very overt in that he brought her on stage, the typical kind of girl that you would expect that would listen to hip hop, white girl that would listen to hip hop, that probably wants to date a Black guy, all of that stuff. He brought her on stage and he was just like, yeah, go on, sing the song, because I guess he knew she was going to do it. And if she surprised him and didn't do it, then he'll be like, see, it's possible for you to sing the song without using the N-word. It's actually possible. Why don't you do that? So big up Kendrick. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed that. I thoroughly enjoyed her embarrassment. I thoroughly enjoyed her discomfort. And I feel like it was a supreme teachable moment to every white person that was in that audience, that this is not for you. It will never be for you. No matter how much you try to hypothesize and theorize, it's not for you. You can't talk your way out of it. It is what it is. Soz, babe. So moving on then to straw of the week, suck your mum. My straw of the week goes to Richard Akindele. Akindele, why did I say it like that? I said it like an English person. Richard Akindele, oh my God, yuck. Richard Akindele, yes. Akindele, yeah, whatever. He's an accounting professor at Obafemi Awolowo University in Nigeria. So basically, Richard is a professor that he gave a low grade to one of his students, and he said that he was only going to change the grade if she slept with him. So Monica Osagi is the student that got a low marks on her course for her master's degree, and she says that the professor gave her two options: to sleep with him or fail the class. Faced with the stark choice, Osagi says that she knew no one would believe her word against the lecturers, so she recorded one of their conversations using a cell phone app. The audio recording was leaked online and went viral on social media. Osagi says that she did not leak it, but had submitted it to the university authorities before it surfaced online. The students' allegations, coming amid the conversations about the global Me Too movement, have now sparked a nationwide conversation in Nigeria about predatory sexual behavior on campuses, and bolstered the nation that sexual harassment is a problem that women in the world over face almost every day. And I think that that's important to highlight that Me Too movement, but we're not talking about all the other voices that get drowned out because the dominant voices in the West are talking. And so I'm not glad that this happened to this woman, but I'm glad that she spoke up about it and that she leaked the recording. So in the recording, you can hear a man saying that if the student didn't agree to have sex with him 5 times, he wouldn't improve her grades. He says to her, "Is it not 5 that we agreed?" And I can imagine him saying that aggressively as well. Is it not 5? Is it not 5 that we agreed? Or we agreed? Our agreement is 5. That's what the man says on tape. And she says to him, or Saggy says to him, Monica says to him, "Is it B that you want to give me or A? Why would it be 5 times you will knack me? Professor, you know what? Let me fail it. I can't do it 5 times. I'm just so disgusted. Why do you need to sleep with me 5 times to grade me, first of all? Like, sleeping with me, forcing me to sleep with you so you can improve my grades is already a madness. You're already moving mad on the highest level. But now telling me that I must sleep with you 5 times. You know what, motherfucker? Why not make it 6 or 10? Because since we're going all out, 5 times. Why do you need to see my pussy 5 times? And you know what? It's that greediness that was his undoing. Because we hear of so many women in Nigeria who have had to pass their get their qualifications, having to sleep with the men, and they will intentionally give you a low mark, knowing that's not what you deserve, so they can sleep with you. But most times these guys agree to 1 time. You wanted 5. Look at your long throat. You're that long trot. The long trots that you were doing is what now put you in this wahala. And I'm glad that the university are dealing with him. I mean, I'm very annoyed that in the first instance, they are investigating her and the fact that she put it online. But where else should she have put it? Where else was she going to get an audience to understand what the situation that she was being put in? My guy said to her, "You've got 2 options." But you know what? Not all superheroes wear capes, because she said, "My guy, I have got more than 2 options. I've got a 3rd one." Just like Harvey Specter would say, when someone's got a gun to your head, what do? Well, you've got 145 other things that you can do because I'm Harvey Specter. Yeah. So she was just like, "No, I've got other options. Don't try me, bitch." And she recorded him and put him on blast. And that is what these men deserve. Obviously, within the parameters of your personal safety. Like, don't go and do that to man who can just send people to come and like deal with you. But, you know, I'm glad that she did that, because a lot of other women need to understand that your silence will not protect you. Your silence will not protect you. And even if it feels like speaking out isn't protecting you either, at least the conversation is out there and it's been started. And I feel for Monica Osagi, because you know what people are doing? Nonsense men are bumping into her at the bank or wherever they see her in public. And they're like, "Oh, you're the one that was harassing the professor over changing your grade." And I thought, how did you manage to do the mental gymnastics to make her the perpetrator or the transgressor? How have you failed to understand what is going on here? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Like, why do you struggle in such a way? I don't get it. I honestly do not get it. But big up yourself, Monica. Like, I would have wanted you're also my share your magnificence this week, because you're a baby girl. A true baby girl knows that no motherfucker can hold her down in this world, in this galaxy, in this motherfucking universe. That nobody will dictate her life to her or her integrity to her. And if she wants to dish out her pum-pum, she dishes out her pum-pum on her own terms, not for grades. Yeah, not for grades. She'll do what she pleases when she pleases, but it won't be transactional to please one useless man with a long throat. So that's really it. So Richard Akindele, I did it again. I hate living in Britain. Richard Akindele, I need you to take a straw, find your mum wherever she is, whether she's in Lagos or whether she's in one of the rural areas. Just go and locate your mum at your earliest convenience. Instead of using your straw to sip palm wine or even to sip supermalt, I need you to use it to suck your mum, and suck your mum 5 times, specifically 5 times because you wanted to shag this woman 5 times, all in the name of changing her grade. So suck your mum 5 times over. That's what you need to do, you disgusting, horrendous, useless goat of a man. Prick. Anyway, that's it for this week. In the extended podcast, I will be speaking to you about first dates that I didn't actually want to watch, but because someone didn't listen to my rules about telling me about information that they wanted me to see by sending it to SYM@kelechiokafor.com, they just implored me to go and watch it on all four, and I went to go and watch it, and it just ended up pissing me off. But we're going to speak about one of the girls that was on First Dates. She called herself a twerking specialist, fetishizes black culture, says that Kim K's body is the ideal body, and all of this bullshit. And there was the man that she was paired with, a black man, obviously. So she's a prick. So I'm just going to vent about that in the extended content that can be found on patreon.com/Kelechi Okafor by supporting and being a patron. Big up all of my patrons that do support the show. I really, really appreciate you. I'm going to announce the live show soon. And if you're in London, you will obviously have first dibs on buying tickets, and I'll let you know. And also in the extended, I'll be talking about a tweet. Let me just get it up. A tweet where a guy said, "My dear brothers that are so pressed about body counts, would you date a girl with the exact same body count as yours?" And obviously they all went wild. They all went mad. So, I'll be speaking about those things in the extended version. And we're going to do an extra card for the tarot as well. So, thank you so much for listening to the podcast or watching. My name's Kelechi Okafor, and this has been SYM, officially known as Say Your Mind, unofficially known as What? That's right, suck your mum. You can follow me on @Kelechnikov or @Say Your Mind Pod. And if you want to join us on Patreon, it's patreon.com/Kelechi Okafor. If you want to send me emails of anything you want me to look at, do not DM me, do not tweet at me. Send it to SYM@KelechiOkafor.com. Remember, everyone, stay seeing. Use your gifts. If you can see, really make sure that you see. Walk away from the ways that you've been disappointed in the past, and remember that the sun will always come out. The sun will always come out for you. So that's pretty much it. Keep everything lubricated, and peace.
It's the Benz Brunani womanist, baby boys, baby girls, you need to hear this. Sit down, receive this realness. Make sure your cup's ready for the tea, we are go sip it, yo. Hot time scrolling for your long shorts. You might learn something you never know. Collect you fine, and she's one of a kind. Don't say your mind, say your mind.